One of the great Psalms of trust in the Lord for deliverance was Psalm 11. I would like to do a brief Hebrew analysis of this short but beautiful psalm. The background seems to be in 1 Samuel 18, where David is being pursued by Saul, actually being attacked by Saul. Saul became obsessed with against David, and he tried to destroy David. And the first attempt, David did not flee. The second attempt, his wife encouraged him to go away, and so he did. And yet, in all of this, his trust is confident in the Lord. So I'd like to pick up and read this psalm in Hebrew with translation, and then brief grammatical inductive analysis. So first of all, we see how David is encouraged by his friends to flee from Saul. And then secondly, he announces his faith in the Lord's protection. So 1 to 3 is the encouragement to flee. 4 to 7, he talks about how he's going to trust in the Lord as his protector. So it begins, Lamnatseach led David, that is, for the leader, a psalm belonging to David. Notice Natsach means to be preeminent, and here we have a PL participle, masculine singular, from Natsach, with a lamed prefix with the article. So we have the inseparable lamed. That is, for the leader, a psalm belonging to David. A psalm is not in the text, but it's understood, I believe. But Adonai chasiti ek tomru lenafshi nudu harchem sipor. That is, in the Lord, I have taken refuge. How do you say to my soul, flee to your mountain, O birds? And I'm understanding that sipor as a singular collective singular, looking at plural, to go with the imperative to flee. Notice, but Adonai, in the Lord, here we have the inseparable preposition in the bait, followed by yod he vav he. Chasiti is from the root chasa, to take refuge. Here we have the perfect indicative active first person singular with the T or with the T suffix to that root, showing that we're looking at a first person common singular. So in the Lord, I have taken refuge. How do you say to my soul? Notice tomaru is your cal imperfect, second masculine plural from amar. Notice here we have a pay aleph verb which always prefers that o vowel, tomaru, instead of yishmaru, like if we were using shamar with the I vowel in that first radical. The reason for this is that the aleph probably necessitated in its historical development a dissimilation, possibly going from te amru to tomaru. At any rate, how do you say to my soul? Notice la lenafshi, nefesh is the word for soul, and nafsh is in construct with e, the pronominal suffix, first person singular. So how do you say to my soul, nodu adhem sipor, flee to the mountain. Notice here we have the root nude, which it's a middle weak verb. So nudu is the way we would render it, flee to the mountain, sipor. Uh, and notice nudu is your cow imperative, second masculine plural from nude. So I'm understanding it to be a plural here because of the final vav, and hence sipor, meaning bird, is probably a collective singular. It's singular, but looking at a plurality here. So we would translate it, flee to your mountain, O you birds. And that goes, sipor then, if we're taking it as a collective singular, with the nudu, the plural, in this root from nud. Nud, Holim, Vav, and Dalid. And so that would be the root, middle weak root. So then we move on, verse 2, Ki hene harashaim yidrachun keshet. That is, for the wicked, behold, the wicked bend the bow. Notice yidrachun is from darak, to bend. It's the cow imperfect, a third person plural, common plural, or masculine plural, I should say, from darak, to bend. So the wicked bend the bow, and then it goes on to say, konenu chitzam al yeter. They have made ready their arrows upon the bow, or upon the string. Notice konenu is from kun, to prepare. Here we have a polel, a perfect, a third common plural from kun. So they have made ready. Notice the middle weak root kun cannot take a pl, so you have a polel when you have that kind of middle weak verb. So make ready, they make ready their arrow, hitzam. Notice hates is arrow, am is your pronominal suffix, third masculine plural, al yeter, upon the string. So in other words, they're ready to shoot at David. The psalmist is saying, lirot bimo ofel leyesre le, to shoot in the darkness to the upright of heart. Notice lirot is from the root to shoot, yara, and here we have a cow infinitive construct. So to shoot in the darkness, the mo is the preposition with ophel, in the darkness, le yisre le, to the upright of heart. Notice yisre is from the word meaning upright, yashar, and here it's in construct plural, masculine plural with le. So they're wanting to shoot against or toward the upright of heart, which would represent David in this case, and what Saul was seeking to do. Then we move on in verse 3, Ki hashatot yeharesun tzadik ma pa'al. That is, when the foundations are destroyed, what can the righteous do? Notice here we have ki is your conjunction when the foundations, ha-shatot, is your feminine plural with the ot ending, meaning foundations, when the foundations are destroyed. Notice here the root is haras, to destroy, and here we have a nifal imperfect, third masculine plural from haraz. And notice what has happened here. You have compensatory lengthening under the yod prefix. The hiri has lengthened to a tseri because the noon of the nifal stem has elided or dropped out. So yen harisun, the noon then dropping out, then we have the hiric lengthening to its tseri. And you still have your I/E, a vowel pattern, giving it away as a nifal imperfect. So when the foundations are destroyed, then the righteous, what has the righteous done? The thought here is that what can the righteous do seems to be the way I would render that. What the righteous can do. Notice Sadiq means righteous. Ma is your interrogative pronoun, and pa'al is the verb, the cal perfect third masculine singular from pa'al, to do. It's interesting. This verb pa'al is used in older grammatical sources to define the different stems in Hebrew. Like you have your pa'al stem, your nifal stem, your hifil stem, and your hofal, and so forth, your hitpael. And the reason being, or your PL for the PL, puel for the puel, the reason being is the verb pa'al was often used as the representative verb in some of your older grammatical works. And I like to do that because it does help us to learn the nomenclature that is common in Hebrew grammar. Now, some will just speak of the G stem for the cal and the N stem for the nifal and so forth. But again, that pa'al is a very interesting word, especially when it comes to some of your older grammatical studies where that verb became like was used sort of to represent the conjugation or the different stems. It's sort of like in Greek, we have luo, I lose, to be the representative verb. Then we go on, verses 4 to 7. We're now going to look at how he is trusting in God for deliverance. Even though he has been told to flee and take refuge, no doubt speaking of David when Saul was wanting to hurt David. After being warned a second time, he does no doubt flee, following the advice of his wife at that time. Then we move on. Notice verse 4. Adonai b'heichal kodsho. Adonai b'shamayim kiso. Einav yechazu afapav yivchanu b'nei Adam. That is, the Lord is in his holy temple. Notice the echal. Echal is the word for a temple, and kodsho from kadosh, it's in construct with o, meaning the temple of his holiness or his holy temple. And then Adonai b'shamayim kiso, the Lord, his throne is in heaven. Notice kiso is from kisa, it's the noun meaning throne. O is your pronominal suffix, third masculine singular. And so the Lord, his throne is in heaven, and then his eyes, einav yechazu, his eyes see. Notice ayin is the noun for eye, and here we have a plural noun in construct with the pronominal suffix, third masculine singular, in the vav here. So his eyes see. Chazah, a lamed hey root, is the verb to see, and this is your cal imperfect, third plural, third masculine plural from chazah, to see. So his eyes see from his throne in heaven, from his palace in heaven, and afapav yivchanu b'nei adam. That is, his eyelids try or examine the sons of men. What a beautiful picture here. Afapav meaning his eyelids, and notice it's a plural noun again in construct with the vav here preceded by the yod, showing we're looking at a plural noun in construct with a third masculine pronominal suffix. So his eyes, yivchanu, bachan is the root to examine. Here we have the cal imperfect, third masculine plural from bachan. So his eyes examine the sons of men. The Lord in heaven is able to see what's going on upon the earth, and he thoroughly examines what is happening. He has a detailed understanding of the world. And this is a beautiful thought. We don't have an absent landlord like in deism. We have a Lord that's very observant of what's going on. And then verse 5, it says, Adonai Tzadik Yivchan, V'Rasha V'Ohev Hamas, Sana'a Nafsho. That is, the Lord tries the righteous, tests them. And notice, Tzaddik means the righteous one, an adjective here meaning righteous, and Yivchan from Bachan, to try, is a cal imperfect third masculine singular. And then it goes on, but the wicked. Notice the vav here is probably a contrastive use of the vav, but the wicked and the one who loves violence, the ohev Hamas. Notice ohev is your cal active participle masculine singular from the root ahav. So the one who loves violence, his soul hates. Notice sana'a is your cal perfect, third feminine singular, going with nephesh, which is feminine, and nephesh becomes nafsh in construct with o, the pronominal suffix third masculine singular. So his soul, the wicked, and the one that loves violence, God hates violence and wickedness. And then it goes on, verse 6, no doubt referring to what Saul was plotting against David, seems to be the context here. Yamter areshaim pachim, esh v'gofrit v'ruach zil afot, menat kosam. Upon the wicked, he will rain or cause to rain coals. Notice yamter is from matar, that means to rain down. And here we have a hifil imperfect, third masculine singular from matar. Notice we have an A-E vowel pattern in the thematic vowels of this form, showing we're looking at a hifil stem. And so we have a hifil imperfect, third masculine singular. He causes to rain upon the wicked coals, pachim, masculine plural for coals. And then we move on. This also our mind goes back to probably Sodom and Gomorrah, where the Lord judged wickedness back then. And then we move on. Eish v'gofrit v'ruach zil afot menat kosam. That is fire and brimstone and burning wind, or wind that is burning, describing God's judgment that is going to come against those that are plotting violence and hurt against David, is the context here. And then menat kosam, that is their cup, or that shall be, we could say, the portion of their cup. Menat is in construct with kosam. Kos means cup, and am is your pronominal suffix, third masculine plural. So the portion of their cup will be God's judgment, is what David is writing here. And then he goes on to say, Ki tzadik Adonai tzedakot ahev yashar yachazu fanemo. That is, for the Lord is righteous. He loves righteousness, and the upright shall behold or see his face. What a beautiful conclusion here. The upright will be able to see the face of God. And one of the greatest things is the beatific vision that people often talk about. And what the psalmist is saying, when one seeks to be upright, one then really understands the face of God, the psalmist is saying. Notice, for, here we have a causal stem, for the Lord is righteous, tzaddik is, and then tzedakot ahev, he loves righteousness, obedience to him, doing what is right to others. And notice ahev here is your cow perfect, third masculine singular from ahav, and tzedakot is from tzedakah, meaning righteousness. So the Lord loves righteousness. And then the upright shall behold his face. Notice yashar means upright. Yachazu means shall see. Here again, from chazah, to see. We saw that back in verse 4. So the upright shall see, cow imperfect, third masculine plural from chazah, fanemo, from panayim meaning face, panayim becoming panay in construct with a mo, which is your third person plural pronominal suffix. So, third, the upright shall behold his face, third masculine singular from panemo. So the upright shall look upon his face. What a beautiful thought here, that those who seek to do righteous and be upright are able to see the face of God and understand his nature. And so what a beautiful psalm of encouragement that David's writing at a time when he was fleeing from Saul. And I think in our lives we can apply this to life in very frightening times, to know that the Lord is our refuge, much like Psalm, let's say 46. So it's a little psalm that gives tremendous encouragement. I wanted to go through the grammar because this was a nice psalm to do, I believe, the inductive grammar. As I look at the New Testament as a Christian minister, it's exciting to me how that in the New Testament, Christ said, I am with you always, even unto the end of the age, in Matthew chapter 28. And that nothing can ever sever us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus our Lord. Paul is writing in Romans chapter 8. And so, as a believer in Jesus, I am so happy that the New Testament talks about Christ as the one that, can I say, is our shield and is our protector. Thank you for listening. I hope this helps the grammatical study.